In 2026, the video industry has completely changed and it's changing every day. But does that mean that it's a bad time to get into it or a good time? Well, I've got some thoughts, of course. As a filmmaker who also now teaches people how to do what I do, one of the things that I get asked a lot is it actually worthwhile getting into this industry now? Is there still an industry to get into? And I'm talking about client video making. It's difficult to answer because I've worked in this industry for a while and I've seen it change a lot. And you could be forgiven for thinking, you know, like, this is fucked, like it's totally different now. I used to work for a production company and they used to make big TV ads, huge budgets, the kind of budgets where you could go and stay in a 5-star hotel and eat in the best restaurants in London just on the budget. Those days are gone. If we're being realistic about it, it has changed a lot. Budgets completely crashed because content became disposable. You know, when they were making those ads, they started off when there was only 5 fucking channels on British TV. Now there are, you know, so many places that you can put a video, which is great because it's like, you know, there's loads of video being required all the time, but the barrier to making that video is so much lower that so many people can do it. And the life cycle of that video is so much smaller. You can make a video and if it doesn't do anything in the first like few days, you just make another one. That's the nature of it, and it's like everything is becoming content. So you could look at that and say, well, where is my industry? Where is my niche that I can carve out and I can make a living from if it's so disposable? You know, what is the point in trying to compete with this? And are companies still going to spend, you know, big budgets on that are going to pay my mortgage to allow me to make videos for them, and hopefully they you know, they're successful? Like, what, do I need to be an expert in fucking internet marketing and be a content creator now and all this? It's totally valid, all those concerns are. But what I will say is, because that barrier has lowered, there's so much more opportunity. You can learn so many different elements of filmmaking and of commercial production that were just, when I started out, were not available. Even if you wanted to edit, you could buy Final Cut, which at the time was really expensive, or you could buy Avid, which was, you know, out of your reach. You needed to buy a whole computer and everything. Tens of thousands of pounds. That era has changed, and if you're just a video editor, it's probably pretty frustrating if you've been doing it for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. But the good news is, we live in this era now. If you're thinking about taking this on, we live in this era now where we can adapt and we can learn and we can become someone who does all those things. There's a conflict here because a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to fucking learn all that shit. I just want to be a guy who shoots video. Well, I'm sorry, but if that is just all you're going to do, then you might find it a wee bit harder than if you were to say, be more of an all-rounder. Like for me, in my skill set that I charge for producing, directing, shooting. Sometimes I'm just a cameraman for the day. Sometimes I'm a director on a TV ad for the day. Sometimes I fly drones on TV shows. Sometimes I'll make stock footage with my drone. I think that's dying due to AI. There are so many like avenues of income. I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of post-production-y type compositing, and I'll say yes if someone asks if I can do kinetic typography. You know, I'll just say yes. And I'll just learn how to do it as I go because I have a base level of knowledge about a lot of that stuff that I feel confident now that I could probably just learn the thing that they need to do. I love it because it gives me variety and it gives me freedom. And I would still say that that falls under the banner of filmmaking. That's why I don't call myself a videographer. I never really use that term because I think that's just one kind of element of what I offer. If you're willing to say, I'll take on everything and anything, I'll put myself out there confidently, I'll trust myself that I can learn how to do things, I'll trust myself that I can do things to a certain standard, and by the way, you will fuck up and you'll make shit things that you'll send to clients and they'll go, thanks, and then you'll take a step back and say, I'm gonna have to get better at that. I think that it's never been a better time to jump into this, especially if you're the kind of person that teaches themselves. You know, if you're the type of person that can go on YouTube and learn how to do all this different stuff, or you buy courses, or you go to workshops and things like that, you are going to be all right. because there is a modern era of filmmaking, and it's here, and it's there for the taking. I mean, this idea as well that clients can just shoot everything themselves now and use AI and stuff like, I mean, the learning curve and all that shit, plus just the kind of effort that goes into it, it's not feasible or viable. I mean, like, say I made toothbrushes. I wanted to make an ad, right? I could pay me to create a suite of ads and edit them in a few different styles and pay me 3 or 4 grand. Or I could say, I'll do it myself, and then I have to learn how to use fucking Higgsfield or something and go in and start crafting all that stuff myself and looking at it and then realizing it's shit. And because I care about my brand and what people think about it, I think, actually, I don't want to put that out. People just think it's AI slop. It's easy to say, generative AI is going to ruin everything. Like, in practice, it's quite difficult to do things with generative AI. I know, I've been fucking trying, all right? Because, again, I like to widen my skills that I offer. And if people want AI video made and they absolutely insist on doing it that way, then, to be honest, I want to fucking learn how to do that so that I can do it for them. I have no problem with that at all. And before you start saying, you know, that's not traditional filmmaking and blah, 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 I fucking love movies. I make movies. I love this industry, and I'll do anything. I work in here sometimes on shoots as a grip, and I rig lights for people and all that. I love it. To answer the question of, is this a viable industry to try and get into in 2026? Forgot what year it was there. If you are willing to accept that you won't just be shooting just pretty images. I mean, you can do this, right? But if you're willing to accept that if you want to be busy and to be able to get out there and offer work to clients, you have to be a bit more willing to learn other things. I'm not saying you have to become some AI generative expert, or you've got to become basically a digital composer. You don't need that, right? But you need to be open to the idea that you can offer those kind of stuff, because that's the beauty of the age we're in. All of that stuff is accessible now. You can have AI fucking memberships, credits for the month. You can have Adobe Premiere and After Effects and Resolve and Photoshop and Illustrator and all that. And it's not that expensive if this is your job, and it's all taxable fucking expenses for your business. You can get into all of that stuff for quite a low barrier now, and a low barrier might sound bad, but a low barrier is good. Would you rather, when you're thinking about getting into this industry, I told you, yes, but the barrier is very high. Do you know what I mean? Think about it like that. If you're willing to just get in here, make it work, pull things apart and learn how they work, that is here for the taking. That's what I do. And if you want to get into this yourself and you want to start and take your first step to getting towards that first video client, then hit the link below. I've got a mini course. It's only $27 and it's called the 30-Day First Client System. It will show you exactly how to do that. And follow along, because I've got loads more shit like this to talk about, and I would love it if you would sit and listen. Anyway, that's just my thoughts as someone who has become a survivor and thriver in this industry. I still believe that if you work in a 9-to-5 or a 9-to-6 job and you're just at the mercy of your boss, then you're always going to wonder what that other side looked like. Would you not rather be out here solving problems for yourself, or would you rather just be sitting in some office somewhere solving problems that your idiot boss keeps throwing at you? I know which one I would prefer. And here's a little experiment, right? If you have stuck around till the end of this video, I've got a little reward for you, all right? Go to my Instagram right now, The Paid Creative, links below in the description, and send me a DM that just says course, and I'll send you a link to my latest mini course for free. It's usually 27 bucks. How about that? See, that's the kind of guy I am. Anyway, thank you so much for sitting through that. See you next time.